Hey guys, thanks for checking out the podcast. Before we get started, I want to remind you about the very cool bucket list trip I am doing in 2026, the Smitty Learns Irish podcast, where I'm going to do my bucket list, hike Ireland for a year, learn about Irish history, town by town, through the mouths of the pub owners and regulars. Because what's a better way to learn about something you love than to experience it yourself? Patreon.com/we3Smiths, only $3 a month, and thanks for checking it out.
One, two, three, one.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is that when you said blowjob on the radio?
Like 10 times.
I'll tell you the story. I bought 3 microphones, but I didn't pay attention to what I was buying. It's a 3-pack. Oh, I have 9 microphones. What the hell am I going to do? Interview a baseball team? I'm tired of your fucking bullshit, you know what I mean? I'm tired of all of this nonsense that I just want no part of anymore. I'm going to do my own fucking thing. Fuck all of that.
2, 1, action.
What the hell? Everything!
Oh boy! Welcome. What the hell? Everything. Happy Monday, May 22nd, 2023. Happy What the Hell Everything Day. Stoked for this show. For no other reason than I fucking, this is what I do. This is what I love doing. Just shooting the shit and presenting something that hopefully you will find at least mildly entertaining. The podcast obviously is not live. We're not doing, when I say we, me, for the foreseeable future, the What the Hell Everything podcast will be recorded and then uploaded around 4 p.m. or so. There's no real schedule or template. It's kind of whenever I get it up, but it will be here and it will be super fucking fun. So hopefully you dig it, man. Hopefully. Why do we keep saying hopefully? If you're here, you know why you're here. Gonna talk a lot of shit. Gonna peruse some news stories, and because I'm kind of in this new setting, this will probably, because I'm not really going to do the Sunday morning talk practices for a while, this will kind of take the sort of the vibe of the Sunday morning talk practices a little bit more, where I'm mixing in the shit talking with mixing in perusing news stories and things like that. Just find a bunch of shit to talk about, have fun, man, for about an hour or so. That's kind of the goal. I will still be doing live streams, reaction marathon live streams on Patreon and such. The schedule is ever fucking evolving, but that's why we say pivot, man. As always, start the podcast off with the word of the day. And I always feel like I got to put headphones on. I don't necessarily need them, but they just make me feel like I'm doing a show. Now, here's the thing. I just caught a glance at the word of the day, and I'm completely befuddled. But, the reason I do the word of the day is because I just like to learn things. Learn language. Maybe you like to learn as well. Have some fucking fun with it. Maybe throw the word of the day into the podcast in some productive way. That never happens. But today, as well as the official word of the day, got a request for a word of the day, so we'll actually have 2. First, let's get into the official word of the day. Man, I'm looking at the pronunciation, but I'm just going to jarabe tapatio. That's exactly how to pronounce it. Probably not exactly.
Jarabe tapatio.
Yeah, I really fucked that up, actually. Man, I want to guess. Is that Portuguese, perhaps? Probably not. Meanings and examples. It's Mexican origin. A dance of Mexican origin. What is that called?
Jarabe tapatio.
Performed by a couple and consisting of 9 figures and melodies in which the partners often dance facing each other but not touching. There we go. I'm fairly positive that is not going to make it into
the podcast in some way, shape, or form. But Walloper might. Matthew dropped a comment on the last podcast from May 15th. And I think Matthew's from Scotland. And he says, word of the day, Walloper, Scottish word. Look it up. All right, Walloper. Let's check that out, shall we? It says it's no, this is actually the second definition. There are a couple different definitions. It's a noun, a person or thing that wallops. I don't know if that's fucking what Matthew was talking about. It's also Australian slang for a policeman. It's supposed to be Scottish. Hang on a fucking second. Let's just use the Google machine, shall we? Scottish term. Walloper. Walloper. Was Matthew putting that word of the day as a description for me? Because in Scotland, it's a derogatory term for a penis, an idiot, or stupid person. Is that what you're saying, Matt? Am I a walloper? Either way, it's a funny fucking word. I could probably fucking... also, in Ireland, because I'm learning Irish, in Ireland, it's a cudgel or a shillelagh. No fucking shit, huh? Is a shillelagh stupid in according to Scotland? Not according to Scotland. It's not an official government fucking stance on that word, I'm sure. Anyway, an idiot or stupid person is a walloper. Essentially, a fucking dick. Man, last night I was able to catch a little bit of that Foo Fighters live stream. First thing since Taylor Hawkins, you know? And it was so weird, first of all, because you didn't know. First of all, they announced the new drummer, who was Josh Freese, in the fucking most Foo Fighters way possible, man. With just this awesome video, and they brought in all sorts of different other famous drummers. Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers, and Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, and Danny Carey from Tool, and had them enter the room and had people thinking, oh, are they the new drummer? Or at least that's the way they presented it. Ha ha, psych, he's not the actual drummer. But it was Josh Freese. And I'd never heard anything, him drum before. I know he was in Guns N' Roses and kind of a session drummer in a lot of bands. And I don't even know if he's the official drummer for the Foo Fighters now, or if he's just the touring drummer. Because I know Dave played drums on the new songs in the new album. So I don't know if he is the official drummer. I think he might be. But I gotta tell you, that guy fucking bashes, man. And adds such more of a punk rock drummer vibe to the Foo Fighters, you know? Taylor Hawkins was more, I don't want to say, not only a classic rock kind of a trained drummer, but he grew up listening to fucking Queen and Led Zeppelin, and that's kind of, I think, how he modeled his drums after fucking Bonham and shit. This guy, Josh Freese, just seems like there is just this added, and you can tell it just adds a different fucking sound to that band, man. They did this rad breakdown, and I think All My Life. I think that was the first song they did on this live stream, and they did this fucking rad breakdown that I'd never heard them live. I've seen them live 3 times, and it just added this fucking cool element, man, and it sounds so fucking good. There's so many shows I want to see live. As finances would dictate, it's not really a possibility for the foreseeable future. But man, there's so many live shit. I didn't know I was going to probably have to fucking see Foo Fighters this summer. It's not going to happen, but Josh fucking Freese, man. Such a weird, awkward... I really struggle with, like, as a fan of the band, wanting to know, like, what, you know, how long did it take? All these questions you ask yourself as a fan of the band. You know, your fucking best friend died, and you immediately, almost, it was a year since Taylor Hawkins died, and they're dropping new music. So from a therapy standpoint, I'm sure, because those songs that I've heard so far are almost clearly related to Taylor Hawkins dying, you know? and to just throw yourself back into the work and hire another drummer is the complete opposite from when, like, Kurt Cobain died. You know, where he totally withdrew from music for a year or more before really getting back into music. And the complete opposite now. From a therapy standpoint, I feel like it is. Songwriting and just maintaining that Foo Fighters humor. Because it has to be just a thing where Taylor Hawkins would have wanted us to go on, you know? And I can't wait for this fucking new record to drop. That new Foo Fighters music, too. It sounds like old Foo Fighters, but a current version of old Foo Fighters. There's this mix of, like, some of the choruses and aggression from, like, In Your Honor. You know, some of those fucking just classic Foo Fighters guitar hits. Boom! Kind of thing, you know. I'm sure I really nailed that fucking imitation. What's going on in the fucking news today? I don't know why. I just clicked the local news. I mean, there are people watching and listening locally, either on Spotify or YouTube or whatever your preferred platform. But I don't think there's that many. There's people checking the podcast out in other places, you know? Don't give a fuck about local news in northern Michigan. You might, but there's nothing worth talking about on there. What do we want to look at? Let's go to Reddit, because there's always some fucking fun ass thing on a Reddit thread. I don't want to click the Skinwalker Ranch thread right now. I do want to talk about Skinwalker Ranch at some point. I might as well fucking talk about it now, because that fucking show, I don't know if you're watching Secret of Skinwalker Ranch on History Channel. It's such a struggle I have with the hatred of the way that, like, reality shows are presented with the narration style and this fucking fake scripted sort of delivery when the cast members or whoever's taking part in the investigation, in this case on Skinwalker Ranch, the way that they're when they talk about what's happening in the show and narrate over it, it's totally scripted. You know what I mean? It's not, as far as I know, it's not like it's totally real. What these guys are investigating in Skinwalker Ranch. If you haven't watched it, man, I don't know what fuck. I don't. It sounds like the craziest shit in the world, but it seems as if everything's on the level, which I think it is on that show. It seems like there's portals leading to another dimension with fucking UFOs. They do experiments in every episode, legit scientific experiments, and always there is something fucking up in the equipment, which people will watch that show and be like, oh, fucking equipment didn't work again and this and that. That's evidence, motherfucker. That's evidence. And, like, when was it, 2 episodes ago? You actually saw this portal. They had some sort of, like, high-speed camera, and it shot this fucking rocket up from the mesa at Skinwalker Ranch. And you actually see, almost, because of this high-speed camera, this fucking anomaly that they describe in the show. The way that they just overuse words for emphasis on that show. Anyway, the point of the story is, it seems increasingly that there's more evidence that not enough people are talking about that there's fucking UFOs and portals. You know, they actually said in the show that, who's that fucking guy? He's that kind of famous for doing reality shows, astrophysicist. What the fuck is that guy's name? Southern guy, Texas, wherever the fuck he's from. But he actually took part in the U.S. government, whatever that fucking UAP, UFO investigation, with the official investigation done by the Pentagon. You know, he took part in that, and they made that very transparent in the show that they didn't make in the last few episodes, or excuse me, the last few seasons. And what happened in that last fucking episode had a huge, not a huge, but a discussion, an argument with McTighe, and we keep trying to schedule some sort of like Zoom chat that we can add to the podcast and talk about Skinwalker Ranch and shit talking ranch just because it'll be fun. But they're drilling into this fucking side of this mesa, and the last time they drilled in, they're chipping off pieces of a dome underneath this mesa that is like, I don't know, 30 feet, 100 feet, something fucking massive. That is creating all of this, what is that, radiation, at least to some level. There's this fucking alien frequency that keeps getting broadcast whenever they fuck around. And they actually chipped off pieces of whatever dome is underneath this mountain. And some kind of fucking metal that is used to insulate a craft in space. Manufactured metal. I think that's what they determined by whatever scientific analysis they did. It is manufactured metal. So they drilled into this fucking mesa again, and they put cameras down inside these rocks and trying to get down to see what the fuck's in there. And there's all this pink paint. And they said this at the end of the last fucking episode as the preview for the next episode. And I haven't watched it yet. And I fucking laughed out loud, really loud, watching this shit. They said, and I'm paraphrasing here, yeah, this pink paint that we found, whatever scientific analysis they did, they said, oh, yeah, that's used in cloaking devices. And I fucking laughed out loud. Not because I thought it was absurd. Now, I talked to McTang about this, and I think he was more on the absurd, get fucked level of, once they mentioned the word cloaking device, he's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm way, I think, on the other side of that. Because if you're going with the theory that there are actual fucking aliens, and then that could be this dome, which they're theorizing on the show, is potentially an engine for a portal to another dimension. Wouldn't they have the science to make a fucking cloaking device? Why is that absurd? Why is the portal to another dimension not absurd? It is. But then, like, a cloaking device is like, ugh. That's like when I watched True Blood, a show about fucking vampires on HBO. And I don't know, however many seasons in, it was 2 to 3, and I'm like, this is a good show. And then they introduced werewolves, and I'm like, God, get the fuck out of here. Which, by the way, werewolves are another aspect of Skinwalker Ranch that, in my opinion, can get fucked. That is the, I think, Native American or indigenous legend around that area, that there is like skinwalkers and shapeshifters and things like that. And I'm just like, I'm not seeing evidence of that at all on this fucking show. Cattle mutilations with no blood are not indicative of an animal attack. There's been stories of animal attacks, and I'm just like, at some point, it just becomes absurd. There's probably all sorts of, like, which essentially these are myths handed down from generation to generation. Also myths handed down probably from the alien aspect, and I'm almost certainly the alien aspect as well. But once you get into, like, fucking skinwalkers and shit like that, I'm like, you're fucking losing me. But portals and cloaking devices are completely rational. That fucking show, man. I hate that I'm addicted to it. But I love what's coming out of it. We're in this brand new fucking world. I was listening to I do not actively, I am not a UFO fucking enthusiast. Okay, I've never been into UFOs. Sometimes you hear stories throughout my life, and I'm like, well, that's fucking interesting. And I've probably always been interested in it, and at least a little bit believed in aliens. But all the fucking evidence that's coming out now that not enough people are talking about, the fucking Tic Tacs, all sorts of shit. This UFO podcast that I listened to called High Strange, took this real like skeptical approach from this dude who did all of these is known for doing these, what the fuck are those podcasts, true crime podcasts, and he went the UFO route, but giving the same sort of like analysis and seeing what's bullshit and what has credence to it. And you know, I've heard stories like that before, and some of them you're like, I don't know, or that's pretty fucked up. But I mean, there are some stories that can't be really debunked. Just insane fucking stories. And then the more evidence that you see with like the Pentagon actually investigating it and saying that those crafts are not ours, nobody talks about that shit. We're in a fucking insanely interesting world. I fucking love it. I love it. It's the best time to be alive right now, man. Absolutely. Let's check the Not the Onion thread. There's always some fun shit on there. When the fuck is that? Skinwalker Ranch. That's tomorrow. A new one. I wonder. I just wonder about all kinds of fucking things. How could you... The cloaking thing. I meant to get to this point earlier. How the fuck... Because as far as I know, cloaking devices have not been invented by human beings. So how would they know that paint, that substance would be used to make cloaking devices? Would it just be theoretically? Not sure. Why the fuck is my goddamn internet not working here? I can't peruse any news stories with no internet, but I guess it's a good thing I didn't go fucking live. You know what my favorite... This is going to sound really fucking stupid to some people. My favorite thing, one of them, I have a lot, is when videos lose subscribers on YouTube. It really is. Because, you know, I know and I understand completely that, you know, I say it a lot. I'm not for everybody, but everybody's welcome. And there are a lot of people that will subscribe to the channel because of the reaction videos. Excuse me. You know, I'm reacting to their favorite band, so they do it and they subscribe because it's super cool to fucking do that for people, you know. Hey, I'm going to subscribe. And I'm guilty of this as well, where I see a page and they do some shit that I like, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to subscribe to this. And then at some point, I see a couple of videos and I'm like, I don't think I like this as much as I did before. Unsubscribe. Like a reactor that I used to like who went totally Jesus. And I'm like, sorry, I'm out. You know? Again, I'm not for everybody. I'm pretty fucking abrasive. I'm pretty fucking vulgar, clearly. And I like to talk shit. So when I post videos that are not reaction videos, podcast clips, or something like that, it will just honestly be like a 420 break clip where I'm just saying the most ridiculous shit or telling a stupid fucking story about my shoeless brother's golf round or something like that. Something marijuana involved. And like you can tell on each video. You know, you'd be like, oh, this video got 18 subscribers. Fucking A. Oh, this video that you posted lost subscribers. And when I say it's my favorite fucking thing, I'm not joking, man. I get such a kick out of seeing what people are like, fuck this guy about. It's really fucking entertaining because you gotta... The way that I have to do this whole fucking project that I'm doing has to be in some, for lack of a better term, like a grassroots thing, you know. I'm trying to build support over the course of 5 years, and take that support into the year-long hike Smitty Learns Irish pubcast. And you have to make people like you. I actually came to that realization not too long ago. My job on doing this is to make people like me, and it just sounds fucking weird. But you have to get people interested in what you're doing and what the mission is, you know? So when I see that somebody said, fuck that, I'm out, it really just makes my day, because you got to weed people out. Eventually, it's going to happen. But I love seeing, you know, what actually does it. But then, honestly, I will have the stupidest clips from the podcast that will actually get 2 to 3 subscribers. So there's the people that are on board, but every once in a while, like, what the fuck was it? I'm not saying this is a blanket statement, but, like, for instance, I reacted to the band Baby Metal, which I'm going to get back to soon. And this is a great example of opening rock and roll minds, which I truly believe in my Smitty soul. That I really want to open my mind about all kinds of things. That includes music that I have been very close-minded to throughout my life. Baby Metal is a fucking perfect example of that. And I really got a good taste of what or at least a very, I think, indicative taste of what to expect from that band. Because the girls that sing, they're dancers, I've had people comment on the reaction video that I did, and I think I said something along the lines of, well, they don't play instruments or something? And people were actually making comments like, why would you want your dancers to play instruments? And I just go back, my go-to response to that is, I don't want my fucking dancers to play instruments because I don't want to see fucking dancers. I do not gravitate towards choreography, really, at all, ever. I don't have anything against dancing, I do like to dance every once in a while, and I can actually fucking dance when I'm feeling it, you got to feel it. But the music that I want to listen to is music that is performed by people that get together and create something together and write something together. It doesn't have to be playing an instrument, but people that get together and create something together. I'm not suggesting that, like, Bandmade doesn't do that. What I'm suggesting is it's hard for me to wrap my head around a girl group, which they are described as by fans of the band. They're a girl group that plays metal. They're singing. There are musicians playing the instruments, and there were some cool fucking riffs. But that melding of rock and roll metal and, like, dancey things, that is the ultimate fucking connection my brain is having a hard time making as far as, and it's like, man, how much am I really going to dedicate to to investigating things I don't like on the reaction channel. I think I took a really fucking off left turn on this topic of conversation. The point of the story is I probably and almost never have one. Still don't have the fucking internet. I can't really look at news stories without the internet, you guys. But I don't need the news or the actual internet to talk about the fucking 420 break, and let's do that now.
Should I be getting paid for this, boys? Water bomb so smooth you don't realize how high you're getting till it's too late. I am fucked up out here.
Alrighty, your 420 break for May 22nd, 2023. I can't pull the news story up because there's no internet in here, but I did read enough of the story, and really all you need is the headline on this. We're going into some seriously, seriously insane waters. I said on a few podcasts ago, I talked about how I tip, when I go to a restaurant or something, or I tend to over tip. Because I am a service worker and have been throughout a lot of my life, dependent on tips. I know it's different overseas. In the United States, it is a thing that tipped employees don't make a lot of money unless you're tipping, you don't get a great hourly wage, all that shit. So I'm on the record. But some things are the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life. Like in New York. I think this was a New York Post story. And just going by memory. There's a self-checkout at this fucking store that is asking people, do you want to tip your self-checkout worker? It's an actual thing. It's really just a voluntary service charge, I can only assume. If there are people that say yes and actually tip at the self-checkout, first of all, you're the worst kind of fucking human. You're probably worse than the person that invented this goddamn thing and suggested it. It's some fucking dickhead executive who's like, hey, what if we put a fucking self-checkout tip and just suggest, and people will just fucking give us money. People like to tip. And there's some fucking asshole in that company that was like, yeah, that's a good fucking idea. Let's do that. You know, just little more inventive ways to fuck people over financially more and more the more we go on. And this shit is only going to get worse because there's going to be dumb fucks that are going to tip. And it's almost, I don't know if it will become like the societal norm to just tip fucking AI. That's where it's going to go. I got all high pitched there. So you know when I get fucking fired up. I also get fired up when wrestling's in my fucking algorithm. Man, I am guilty of watching a wrestling clip every once in a while. I got to admit. I hate that I watched it when I was a kid. And every once in a while, I'll see a clip of like something that I watched as a kid. And when I was in the Army, I would watch a little bit too. But that was really only because there wasn't anything else to do. And all your fucking buddies are watching fucking wrestling. So I would watch the UFO. Wait, that's not wrong. That's not right. That's not wrong. Yeah, it is. What the fuck is that? UFO? USO? Whatever the fuck. It's not the USO. That's an Army thing. Or a military thing. What the fuck was that? NWO. I think that was what it was in the wrestling. Fucking Sting and all that. So there was some, every once in a while, fucking wrestling pops up and I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch that. And I hate myself when I'm watching it. And I came to the realization when I watched the last clip. And when I say it, I don't watch it all the time. Fucking algorithm on YouTube just takes over and says, you must want to watch everything fucking wrestling. I happened to watch some clip the other day of like a Sting thing, NWO. And I just was like, you know what? This is this fucking... Why did I watch this shit when I was a kid? This is the stupidest fucking shit ever. It is... And I don't even really want to talk shit about wrestling and their fans. Because I have friends that love wrestling. I have friends that wrestle. All that shit. And they love it, and that's great for them. But I fucking hate it. And I was watching this shit. And I'm like, there's no women in this at all. It is just the biggest fucking sausage fest. Almost literally. With all those goddamn tights and fucking spandex. It just the dumbest fucking shit that I could possibly imagine. So I really, really actively over the last week, I'm like, you know what? I'm never, ever gonna watch a clip of fucking wrestling again. And I just went through every fucking video that shows up on my algorithm or whatever. Nope, don't recommend. And I'm not really doing the 420 break anymore. I think I talked about that. I never even closed out the 420 break. Let's do that now. That's your 420 break. Eat some Doritos, chill out, and get your ass back to work.
Hey, old man. I got the fucking munchies real bad. How about you?
Hey. Smoke weed every day.
I really went off track there. Focus. Stay on target. Oh, man, what else? I wanted to bring this up. Martha fucking Stewart at 81, man. Was she on the cover of SI? I think she is on the cover. 81. And she looks good, I actually had a really fun conversation. Do I want to say which friends I was having this conversation with? Of who's your favorite smoking hot old lady? I'm going with Helen Mirren. 100%, by the way. I've never been a huge fan of fucking Martha Stewart, I've never been really attracted to her. She's not ugly. And I think I said some fucked up thing to one of my friends about like, I don't know, man. Like yeah, you look good. But at 81, you look like you've had a fuck ton of plastic surgery. Now, I will say, her face is not fucked up like a lot of people that have had plastic surgery, but she's clearly had plastic surgery. I would rather see women age naturally. That's just what I prefer, you know? Even though I think Helen Mirren at this point has had a few Botoxes or something like that. Also on the cover... Do I really want to talk about Martha Stewart anymore? No. Also on the cover was Megan Fox, who was smoking fucking hot, but less attractive now that she is hanging out with Machine Gun Kelly, you know? It's like, I mean, I understand it. He's technically a rock star. He's got a lot of money. Chicks like that shit, you know? Do I think she's less attractive because she is with Machine Gun Kelly? No, I'm lying to myself. She is still fucking smoking hot. She's like one of the only saving graces, even though she's a terrible actor, from watching the fucking Transformers movies. But they did a fantastic job on Sports Illustrated of covering up her toe thumbs. And if you're watching the video on YouTube, got the picture up of the toe thumb, and it is... fantastic. Like, you can barely tell it's there. They really do have it concealed very well. It's not even like, is it okay to make fun of somebody's features? Probably not. Is it funny to make fun of toe thumbs? Yeah. I don't know why. My sister-in-law, when I was married, had toe thumbs. And there was every time I was hanging out with family or whatever, my eyes would always gravitate towards the toe thumbs. And I'd just be like, wow, what the fuck is that? Is that like an evolutionary thing? You know, we didn't quite get there in some cases, showing a little more Neanderthal than some, you know? It's not like my friend Dave Runyon, who I can't wait to have a studio to have him back on the podcast. But we had a conversation once about... how much Neanderthal do you got in you? And I think he said he had like 10 or 12%. I'm like, 10 or 12%? That's a fucking lot. That means like your great-great-grandfather or something like that had to be a fucking Neanderthal. I don't know. I don't think it's that much. I mean, you're clearly a short, squatty motherfucker, but I don't think you have 12% Neanderthal in you. Clearly Megan Fox with her fucking toe thumbs do, though. That does it for me. Thanks for checking out the podcast. All kinds of stuff on the horizon. I'm going to keep all this shit rolling. And that's it. Thanks. I'm out, guys.
So long, sucker.
Good night, everybody!
I am so sorry for everything that has happened.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right. I'll see you guys there.
By the bar and get your face, huh? Get me paid, bitch!
Sit, boo-boo, sit. Good dog.
I love y'all very much. Peace out!
Good night, ladies.
What the hell? Everything!